Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined as always by Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we've got a lot of games here on Friday night. We had opening day on Thursday in baseball. We got March Madness this weekend. So the NBA schedule is all in flux on Thursday night as we're recording this, getting ahead of this big 13-game slate on Friday night with you guys. There were only 2 games on Thursday tonight, so we will have plenty to choose from here on Friday. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at the Minnesota Timberwolves playing host to what we think will be a Lakers team with LeBron James, we're hoping, but we will see about that one as he's questionable right now. Nate, let's go ahead and jump right into this game here, get into the line, and talk about our first favorite pick.
Yeah, Lakers are slight dogs +1, probably because there's a slight chance LeBron doesn't play, but I mean, he's going to be questionable every game the rest of the way and has been most of the season, so I don't know if I worry about that. And the total at 232.5 definitely seems high, and that's where we start, is saying under 232. Certainly feel even better about that without LeBron. You can run through the stats, and the Lakers, before this long stretch without him, were scoring 8 points per game fewer. They have actually gone over in their last 2 with him, but they have not been astronomical totals by any means. And they did still go under in their last 3 with him before the break. We've been talking about for months now how the Lakers' pace has fallen off a cliff because they stopped using Russell Westbrook and eventually just parted ways with him, and now they have a completely different team that's a lot more half-court oriented when you have D'Angelo Russell running your offense and when you're trying to play through AD and score a high percentage of their points off free throws. Really just winning with defense, because they're not towards the top 10 in any really other offensive category other than just free throws. And so you'd think that would lead to overs, but not when you're not scoring anywhere else. They're not hitting threes. Minnesota, kind of a mirror image in some ways, and they've gone under in 9 of their last 13 at home here. We're talking 28 and 20 to the under in conference games this season, and limiting assists right now. Number 2 limiting assists in their last 8, and their offense, I have not been impressed since they got Cat back here. 102 offensive rating against both Golden State and Phoenix. Lord knows how they managed to hold Golden State to 96. And they just could not get the win in Phoenix despite the Suns starting extremely cold there. They still failed to cover. So we stay fading the Wolves here, but here's really the emotional reason behind that. If you remember, they've won 5 of their last 6 against the Lakers, including 3 straight. And the last, one was this season, Game 5, when the Lakers had no squad, whatever. But the last one last season, the Wolves absolutely disrespect all over LeBron, including Pat Bev, who just got his comeuppance 2 nights ago when he was held to a goose egg. LeBron had an easy 25. The Lakers rolled. But this was a 20-point win where Pat Bev was giving all sorts of shade to Westbrook and LeBron too, of course. And Cat at one point gets an and one on Bron, and then it's the bitch ass game where he just calls him that, and Bron has to eat it because he finished the team worst -19 with 19 points, 5 turnovers, 5 fouls, maybe one of the worst games of his season, as they just started to pack it in at that point. So if you're following that narrative in terms of like Lakers bouncing back from any disrespect or sort of cashing checks that they had to eat last season, then I think they definitely win this game. I mean, the Wolves only were able to pop up and win that game in Sacramento. I think I'm not even going to look at the Warriors game because it was the Kings were already ready to hang a banner, right? And the Wolves were like, nope, not on us. Yeah, so it's at this late in the season, you're really looking for those extra little incentives. I know everybody in the West is stacked up and they have to win these games, but I think just a little extra motivation for the Lakers here in this one. And I think the ability to finally climb over 500, which is obviously huge in the standings, and try to climb over this Wolves team.
Yeah, I mean, we started with the under 232.5, and I love that. I mean, I honestly love them both. I mean, maybe a little parlay in the works, and then maybe a full unit there on the Lakers to win this game, and like I said, maybe a little parlay with the total as well with half a uni there. But Let's also talk about Austin Reeves giving Pat Bev the too short hands to the ground. Like everybody's on that right now. And I don't think LeBron is going to hold Pat Bev's actions against, like anybody that's on this team still necessarily. What happened in that Kings game for the Timberwolves was like Anthony Edwards was like, no, I'm really, really good, y'all. And then they hit a bunch of threes. Kyle Anderson did his thing as well. Also, like just every show from now on, we have to say Naz Reid's name because he's so underrated. It's just a cruel, underrated, the way that we're underrated.
But he's
right
a
now.
game time decision tonight. So that's a big check.
Yeah, no, fair. And that's going to be huge if he's not in there. I mean, Rudy Gobert has been fine. He hasn't really been as nearly as good in the points column, but he's been getting boards. He's been getting over his boards prop a lot lately. If you look at Rudy's numbers, but he's I'm fine with him going up against AD in that sense and still getting plenty of boards. So in this one, man, like. I was telling you, we were talking about before the show, like there's just no precedence here. There's no use cases. There's no situations where it's this team versus the lineups that this Lakers team versus the lineups that you're going to see in this game for Minnesota, especially with Cat coming back. It's like there's even less precedence for that for what's going to happen in this game this season from this season. But I will say that like the under sounds really, really good on top of the Lakers. And so, I mean, just to be very clear, that second bet for us is taking the Lakers to win. If LeBron is in there, like love it. If LeBron's not in there, like it, to be honest. Same case. Like the weird thing is that since LeBron missed all those games for like a month, right after the All-Star break, they kind of have the same record as they did with him after they got all those guys, especially after they traded and got Rui, and then they got Vanderbilt and Beasley, et cetera, and obviously D'Lo. Like they're the same winning percentage, and they're pretty much they're still at about 112 defensive rating. They're playing at pretty much the same 99.5-ish pace that they've been playing since Westbrook left the team and took his style of play with him that could no longer impact the team that greatly. These teams don't go over. I mean, they not in this case. Like they've played at 100.2 speed, right at pace. Like that'd be good for a top 12-ish pace in the league this season. In the last like 8 times that they've met, and they still have never gone over this. I was right. It was 6 times. The last 6 times that they've met, they haven't gone over this total once. And all those games are played in a more than 100 pace, right? A faster than 100 pace. So the offenses haven't been that great. The defense for the Lakers is what they're relying on. And by the way, that's what the Timberwolves are relying on nowadays, which feels like how long ago does it feel when the Timberwolves were averaging like 280 point games at home or whatever it was for like a 3-game span? That feels like it was ages ago. Like maybe Terrell Brandon and Kevin Garnett were on the team when that was happening. So at this point, like, they're relying on a better than 110 defensive rating to win games, which that's fine. I don't think they're going to win this one, but they're relying on that to the fact that they've been decent at home. In fact, they haven't. I should just be totally honest. It's more important to me to look at the last, like, let's say 4 weeks of the season, where they played only 4 games at home, these Timberwolves, and 11 games on the road. They've got a winning percentage of 64, right? They've won. They're 7-4 in those 11 games on the road. At home, 1-3, scoring 111 points a game and giving up 117. So right around a 228 total on average when they're playing at home over the last month. But I like that. I like that for the under. I like it with the way the Lakers are playing and the way that the Timberwolves need to score as well. It's either got to be a lot of Ant and a lot of threes, or they're in trouble. And that Lakers defense has become really, really, really good on the wing, as we knew it would once they got a bevy of wing players that could actually D up and got rid of everybody else.
Yeah, if you need a lot of threes, you're in trouble. The Lakers are number 1 in 3-point defense with the fewest makes on the road this month. They are allowing the most paint points, which is a concern, I guess, if you think about Minnesota. You're betting on a broken offense for the under. We still haven't seen Cat and Gobert exist in a good offense at all. Certainly not a fast-paced offense, right? It's very cluttered, and the fact that they were able to kind of beat up on the Lakers in the paint last season, though, like, I don't know if I read that much into them allowing a lot of paint points lately, because it's just, a small sample circumstance. But they beat up on the Lakers last season. Cat disrespects LeBron because he's forced to play small ball 5 at that point. And like, of course, yeah, you're able to score on him. Now he has Anthony Davis and the number like 1 defensive rating since the All-Star break. So
Yep.
The Lakers have plenty of size to deal with that massive front court. They're guarding the 3-point line. They're guarding you all over. And the biggest reason to like them, right? I mean, is this huge discrepancy. They have a massive free throw discrepancy, bigger than any other team in the league by far this season. And right now they're number 1 in free throw rate and number 2 limiting free throw rate in their last 8. Which, maybe you say the refs are Laker biased a little bit. I mean, I don't really buy it. I think it's style of play when you look at that.
Yeah.
But the point is Minnesota allows the most free throws per game on the season. So that's trouble when you talk about AD getting to the line. And by the way, he had 38 points in a loss in early March against this team because he had no D'Lo, no Bron, and not enough AR-15, your boy. So, yeah, just take it away with the Austin Reeves love fest. Let's bring it home.
Well, maybe the worst thing that's happened to the Lakers since LeBron came back is that Austin Reeves is not averaging like 8 free throw attempts a game. Dude's done it his whole career.
Reeves.
Yeah, I'm saying shout out Austin. I mean, he's done his whole career when he was at Tech as well in college. Had like a 19 or 20 free throw attempt game in college, which is absurd. 1 free throw per every minute of the half. Like it was nuts. But I'm kind of joking, but I do really hope they maintain him in that lineup for the way that he plays off of LeBron and is super slithery going to the rim as well, and is up actually a legitimate reason, right? He's a legitimate part of that free throw success that they've had in dominating other teams at the line. Part of the reason they're also not fouling that much is just the turnstile defense they play down low, giving up all those points in the paint. They're going to have to be a lot better at that, and I think we're both banking on it. So that is all the time we have for you in this one, though. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Got another game video up for you, as well as player props. So until we see you next, happy betting.